So the last year before Mbappé left PSG, I think most people thought that would be the end of the European challenge for PSG. But they don't know anything about Luis Enrique, because he's not like that. I know him, I played against him so many times. How well they work together as a team, and it's so impressive. But that was because of Luis Enrique. And I know from inside, he was a number one candidate for Man United. He has now changed football. The way that PSG played, that's how football will be played going forward. I'm really impressed by Vitinha. I think he's the key to everything good that's happened. I'm a little bit afraid that he won't be considered for the Ballon d'Or, which I think he should be up there. Are we going to talk about the Europa League?
Yeah, well,
I'm going to walk on. You can lose a final. I accept that if you've given everything, if you left everything on the pitch. But for me, they didn't leave enough out there.
Hello guys, we're back in Croatia, precisely in Zadar, where at the well-respected Sunset Festival we had the pleasure and the honor of talking with one of the most iconic football goalkeepers of all time. Just back in 1999, he won the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Champions League. And those were just 3 out of 24 major trophies he won, including European Championship with his Denmark. And have I mentioned he had a really nice habit of even scoring goals? Well, he was the first goalkeeper to ever score a goal in the Premier League's history. Yep, the legendary Peter Schmeichel is with us. Dear Mr. Schmeichel, it's a big pleasure to have you here with us and to welcome you in the new episode of a Sofascore YouTube series called A Guest and a Half, 45 minutes of small talk, big names and stoppage time.
So who's the half?
You're a guest and a half.
Thank you very much.
Okay, as a proper legend, widely recognized as one of the best in football history, we obviously have a lot of big achievements that you have in your career, both on international and club level, to go through with you. But since you're currently doing also amazing job as a CBS Golazo crew, let me start off with that. It seems like you are enjoying what you're doing nowadays.
Yeah, I do. It's an interesting thing because since I retired, the only thing I've done is to work in the media. I've done so many different jobs, and then of course CBS got the rights for the Champions League. You know, Pete Radovich needed to put out a team, and fortunately he came to me and asked if I wanted to be part of it, and I said yes straight away. And it's just developed into it. Actually, I think the whole show is a game changer in how you do football broadcast. It's much more fun, it's much more entertainment. It's still very serious, it's still very analytical. But it's great to be part of that team, and it's great to be part of the team that, in that respect, there isn't a long distance from idea to screen. So if you have something, bring it on, you know. And that's all about the people who produces it, and it's great to work with people like that. And of course, the team on screen is just fantastic. So I'm at the games, which that's a big change for me, and I really do enjoy it. It's nice to be around football that much, or that close as well, because you work with football and you're in a studio. It's kind of detached from you. You still know a lot about it. You still watch a lot of football, but it's different to actually be there and being able to see what happens, what the cameras don't see. So it's more loose and more not so strict. You can leave the desk. You have a cordless microphone. You can actually go and talk to people, even though that you're on air. Which is, you go back 3-4 years ago, that was unheard of. In any kind of broadcasting, you had to be very disciplined. And it works because what happens by doing that is that you actually draw the viewer into a more live experience, and that of course has come from how CBS and especially Pete Radovich has sort of managed this crew. So I really enjoy that.
Talking about that, you will, and you already did, as I heard, share some of your experience here in Croatia at Sunset Festival, along with your esteemed colleague Kate Scott. And in fact, you both will host a gala event about Sofascore, Player of the Season. How would you position Sofascore in the football business now? Because we are very proud that we know that many players, even the big ones, are following our data, sharing our stories, etc.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because as opposed to when I played, we didn't have much information. Obviously, a thing like Sofascore didn't exist, but also from the coach, all the data they use today, it wasn't there. There was something which was, measured by a couple of cameras in the stadiums. Only a few stadiums had that, and it was limited to how many meters do you run in a game. It wasn't accurate to were you offside 5 times? Not that kind of thing, but it was kind of pointing the coach towards some kind of knowledge about the individual players, but it wasn't great. Now, of course, they have it full stop. They're wearing GPS vest, and every day, so I obviously know a lot about this through my son, every day they get an email with all their scores, plus everything's been videoed, so they can actually watch the training sessions back.
But isn't that,
so it ties in, Sofascore ties in with how the players are being brought up, and this is why the players would say that. I'm not sure that I would have been, as a player, that I would have been happy with all that information.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Isn't it a little too much? What does Kasper say?
No, for Kasper's not too much. No,
he's used to it.
But it's the way they do it. You know?
It's just
so that's how he's been trained. That's how he's been brought up in football. I absolutely hated it when a coach or somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, we're playing against him now, and he will do this if he does." And I'm like, I don't want to hear that, because if you swap that around, he's playing against me. I would rather he thinking on me.
Exactly.
That, and if he is told that if he's in this situation, I would do this, even I don't know that I'm going to do that. I'm going to read the situation. My instinct is going to help me to do what I feel is right in that situation. If we had to go into a penalty shootout, as soon as the game was over, I would decide then.
Trust your gut.
So from walking from the goal up to the team, halfway line, wherever they were, in that moment, I will decide precisely what I was going to do on the 5. Precisely. And whoever walked up with the ball, I wouldn't even pay any attention to the guy. I wouldn't give him a name, if that makes sense. I wouldn't humanize him. I would just stick to what I decided like 10 minutes prior to that. And all you try to do is obviously get in the way of one. If you can save one, there's a big chance that you'll win it. And it worked.
Yeah, obviously. But how important was that you were on the other side of that penalty shootout, because you used to score some goals. You scored a goal even from the penalty spot. That helped a lot, or didn't?
So what I used to do was I used to just hit it as hard as I could down the middle. And it worked out really well for me until it didn't. And I remember there was one year when I played in Brøndby, we nearly got a penalty in every game, and we missed a penalty in every game, and I took penalties from the club before Brøndby, so eventually it got to me that, well, now it's your turn, and I hadn't taken a penalty for a long time. I was trying to do that, and I missed the target. So I literally joined the club of missed penalties. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how many. I feel like we missed a penalty in every game.
Oh,
I really do feel like, and we literally went through the team. So we had say how bad we were in penalties. We played a team in Europe. It's called Sportul Bucharest. I've never heard of them. We never heard about the team before we played them, and I haven't heard about them since.
From Romania, right?
Romania.
Yeah, right.
And we beat them very, very easy, 3-0 in Copenhagen. We should have won 6 or 7. I mean, very easy. We went to Bucharest, and we lost the game 3-0. Went into extra time and ended up in penalties. And we lost the game because we missed, and I was one of them. We missed the first 3 penalties, and they scored. That's how bad we were in penalties.
Oh my God. And you still remember that, right?
I remember that. I remember a lot of the not so great things, Let's
stay on the last experience that you're having, and that's the fact that you were both present as a part of your current job both on the Champions League and Europa League final. Let's start.
Are we going to talk about the Europa League?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I'm going to walk
no, come on. I know we saw it was tough to you, but that's why I'm going to start with the Champions League final. Start with the amazing PSG's drive. Did anybody saw that coming?
No, I think what. So the last year before Mbappé left PSG, I think most people, because of the way it happened, he was so clear about he was going to leave. I think most people thought that would be the end of the European challenge for PSG. But they don't know anything about Luis Enrique, because he's not like that. I think he already then knew exactly what he wanted to do, and I think he had to persuade the owners and the board to do it his way. And what he's done is absolutely fantastic. But what he managed to do was he managed to get them playing as a team with a great emphasis of individuality. This is a difficult thing to do, because as an individual, where's the boundaries between what I have to do for the team and I express myself as an individual? Where is that balance? And when you talk about young players, it's not so, they're not so experienced, so they cannot work that out themselves. But the greatest example of that is how well Dembélé is playing and the season that he's had, of course, and the work that he did in the final. So he didn't score in the 5 goals. You'd think he'd scored. If you hadn't seen it, Dembélé must have scored.
No. At least one, yeah.
But he was so important because he was the guy who stopped Inter from playing. Every time Jan Sommer had the ball, he sprinted up. And this is what you see when you're at the stadiums. This is what the TV screen will never show you, how well they work together as a team. And it's so impressive. But that was because of Luis Enrique. I know him. I played against him so many times. As a player, he was relentless. He was fantastic. What he did with Barcelona, fantastic. Obviously with Spain. I mean, all of that. And I know from inside, he was a number 1 candidate for Man United. But
boy, do you feel sorry about that, huh?
We needed him to come in the summer, but he wanted to stay with Spain until the World Cup in Qatar. So we couldn't. So pick somebody else. Which is a shame.
Yeah.
But fantastic. What he's done is just unbelievable, and he has now changed football. The way that PSG played, that's how football will be played going forward.
That's what I wanted to ask you now. Do you feel like the modern football really needed at this moment of time that kind of a story? Just great coach, young, devoted team with just a couple of individual stars, as opposed what actually PSG had up until that team, numerous superstars, world-class stars.
Yeah, I think the whole Galactico idea, you can't. I mean, modern day football is 11 players working hard for 11 players at all times. You can't have a team where 3 players don't do anything. And again, in my job for CBS, Paris has been one of the places I've been to the most. So I've seen them live so many times. And it's just not been good enough. You cannot have 7 players working hard and then you got 3 players just trying to do the nice bits of football. That's not how modern football is. And I think the big change is also, it's been so possession based. If we have 64% of the ball, well, we will win 8 out of 10 games. Stuff like that has been in the minds of coaches. I don't think that matters anymore, and I think that is a big shift. So even though they do pass the ball out from the back, they also have a very, very good variation of what they do. Plus, they're very direct. They can play so direct. So, for instance, Dui's second goal in the final, that it all comes from Vitinha. First getting the ball from Hakimi on the right back position.
Driving it through the middle.
Then, well, actually, he passes it here, goes back, gets it back, passes it there, gets it back, and then he runs into the middle. He passes the ball to Dembélé, and then he continues his run. So he actually came from the right fullback position. And I mean, I haven't timed it, but I think it's no more than 7-8 seconds. The ball's in the back of the net. That kind of directness is it's devastating for other teams, and that I think that's a shift. There isn't this relentlessness to keep the ball and just pass it between, because some coaches really want that. I love that. I love the variation, and it makes it interesting as a neutral to watch. So, yeah.
After that big final, you interviewed Vitinha. You already mentioned that. How fundamental was he in that big triumph of PSG? And were you actually a little bit impressed how that young player analyzes the game right after that big final, that big success?
Yeah, not so much the last thing. No. This is what I found with modern day footballers. They're very aware of what's happening in the game. Their preparation is so different and so into detail for every game. So obviously, being in the game, they understand how much of what they prepare was happening. So that's kind of natural. I'm really impressed by Vitinha. I think he's the key to everything good that's happened. When you have somebody like him who drives the team the way he does, he's always available. Every time they have the ball, he's somewhere near it. He's always a station. He's a dogged player, He can dig in. He can get the ball back. Which was a crazy moment in the final, very early on. I think it's about 15 minutes in, where near side to the dugout, he lost the ball. Vitinha lost the ball, and you go like, what happened there? But within 2.5 seconds, won it back.
Got it back, yeah.
So he's got that. So somebody like João Neves has grown next to him. So we've got this, and of course Brahim Diaz as well. So that kind of
Fabian Ruiz, you thought.
Fabian. Yeah. It all comes from him. Because the way he plays, it's impressive. A lot of people are talking about Rodri, for instance, and liking him to him, but I think he's a different player.
Could you compare I heard a comparison with Modric?
Again, very different. Because Modric doesn't have. When they have the ball, yes, maybe, yes, but when they don't have the ball, Vitinha is different to Modric.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm not going to say anything bad about Modric, by the way. I mean, he's one of the best players I've ever seen in my life, But it's just Vitinha is something which is, for me, there isn't a player that I can sort of say, he's like, he's not like Rodri, he's not like Modric, he's not. He's a combination of all of these things.
Yeah.
And he is the most important player in that team. And I'm a little bit afraid that he won't be considered for the Ballon d'Or, which I think he should be up there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think he's been that good. So I have obviously watched Portugal play, and it's all about him. You take him out of that team, it's not the same team again.
That's why I ask you only about him, and I would like to ask you about another PSG player in that final. Obviously, we can point and stress all of them out because they were amazingly doing everything on both ends of the pitch. But let us talk a little bit about Désiré Doué, okay? So here are statistics, Sofascore statistics for Désiré Doué for the big final. Almost a perfect grade, 9.8. We obviously know what he did.
Is that what he scored? 9.8?
Yeah, this is his Sofascore rating, yeah.
Wow.
Do you agree with that?
I think he was fantastic in the final, absolutely fantastic. I mean, the score in itself means really nothing to me other than it's very, very high. I know that from when I've seen the season scores, which are most of them are sort of between 7.6 and up. I think the highest was 8.25. So to score a 9.8 is unbelievable.
In the Champions League final.
It'd be interesting to see the rest of the team how well they scored. But he was outstanding and he did his job really, really well. But I think the reason he can do his job really, really well is because of the team and the way that they play. So I ask you, what's his position?
It's difficult to say. Yeah, he starts off as a winger, obviously, but enters inside, comes even towards to the ball. Yeah, that's.
What about Kvaratskhelia?
All the same.
What about Dembélé?
Yeah.
And when Bakula comes on, I mean,
that's why they're so good.
this is why they are so difficult to play against. And when they have that kind of movement, it's not enough for him to have that kind of movement.
Yeah.
The other guys need to understand that movement as well. So if he moves inside, for instance, where Dembélé started the game, Dembélé must go out there, and he does. And this was Inter's problem. They could not work it out. You know, they have been nominated certain players they had to follow. They actually tried to go man-man to begin with. But how can you go man-man with players who moves around like that? Now he's 19 years of age. To have that tactical understanding is so impressive because he never wavered, right? Young players sometimes get carried away. He's already scored one, then he scored the next one, and you know, he still stays within the way they play.
Unbelievable, yeah.
And then one thing that these stats are not telling you is when they don't have the ball.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, is where it's mostly impressive that a young player like him tactically follows the script 100%. And it was impressive to watch. And again, something you would see when you're there. You probably wouldn't see that so much unless the camera was on.
But what we saw on the camera, I'm sorry to interrupt, but one of the things that I will definitely remember from that final is that coming back run from Kvaratskhelia in the 73rd minute. It's 4-0 or 5-0 already. He's coming back, running back for 60, 70 meters. That's how you do your job. I get the chills now.
Yeah, exactly. But this is there you go. That's a coach. That's your manager for you. Kvaratskhelia he's tailor-made for his system. One of the things that Luis Enriquez told me was they signed him in January. They tried to sign him in the summer. They also tried to sign him in the January before and the summer before. So it's a player that he really, really wanted. And then, my God, what a player he is. He's won 2 championships, by the way.
Yeah.
He won the Italian with Napoli. He's played enough games to get the medal. Yeah. And he's won the French league.
Yeah, it was
doesn't happen very often, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't. Word or two about Inter from somebody who also 26 years ago searched and fight for a treble and got it. They had a similar situation, and now that quality of that team is also amazing, despite the performance in the Champions League final, of course. But they ended up with nothing. What can you say about them?
Devastating for them, really. I think the thing that happened to them was the Champions League obviously became the big thing because of the final 2 years ago when they lost to Man City. They've already won the championship in Italy. They've done that. They won the cup before, so they've done that. They've had issues with certain players that are very important to the team. Di Marco, Dumfries, they were injured in the wrong time of the season. The way they play is very, very instrumental to how they get the results. And Di Marco didn't have the best of games. He played the Dewey offside on the first goal, and then of course deflected the second one in. But when you play the way they do, where they have to, fly up, but if you've been injured, if you've been out for a very long time, it's difficult to just jump in and do the same thing. The same goes with Dumfries. It's the same thing, and I think at the end of the day, they got overpowered by PSG. I don't know what happened in Italy, but everything was put into this Champions League final. They got overpowered by PSG. They didn't know what to do. For the first 20 minutes, they were 3 against 5 in midfield all the time. So you had the four play either Dembélé or Kvaratskhelia came down and Hakimi came up. So you were 3 against 5 all the time, and they just didn't have an answer for that. And before they kind of began to have a little bit of foothold, they're 2-0 down, and then it's difficult. So
I gotta ask you, I don't want to stress nobody from Inter in a bad sense, but since you are who you are, one of the best goalkeepers ever, I gotta ask you about Jan Sommer, who was fundamental to coming to the final. It was amazing, but most of the goals, or probably all of them, came in his first corner. I mean, you always go reading something. It's tough position, but would you like to comment on that? No?
I don't think he could do anything. to be a good goalkeeper, you need to be protected by a good defence. And I think we saw some vulnerabilities already in the semi-final against Barcelona. I think the reason that Inter ended up in the final, not Barcelona, was Barcelona's lack of, or not so good at defending. I think you can put it that way. But Inter conceded 6 goals after having conceded really nothing all the way throughout the season. And Jan Sommer, obviously in the semi-final, I mean, he was outstanding. You got to be very, very critical to blame him for any of that. They should never have been in that situation. But it was like, at this point, Inter just given up.
Yeah. Okay, nice to hear stuff like this from you. Let's move on to the other final that you also witnessed live. Please stay here. Please don't go away. Was it that tough to you to watch Tottenham beat the Europa League? Yeah, it was.
Yeah. You see my body language straight away. I'll do this. It's been a really, really, really bad season. We finished 15th, and we've lost in the Premier League. We lost 19 games, half of them.
Oh my God! Yeah.
That's tough. It's a lot of reasons for that. It's not just this season. This is an accumulation of everything that's happened over the years since Alex Ferguson left the club. This just exploded on us for this season. A lot of bad decisions been made. So to put yourself in a situation where you can actually change the whole summer by winning the Europa League final and qualifying for the Champions League, that was a gift, an absolute gift. Now, to win a final, doesn't matter who you play, it requires you turn up and actually do your job and try. And this is where the disappointment for me is. No one, it just felt like they were going through the motions. There wasn't the, for instance, when they played Lyon with 4-2 down, it's the first time I've really seen what Manchester United is supposed to be when in the 3 goals that were scored in 8 minutes. The caution, throwing caution to the wind, going into full-blown risk mode and just risking everything in order to win something. That's a DNA of Manchester United. That's the way I know Man United. That's how we were. And that was our brief. We had to be like that. So I'm thinking, okay, the players had a little taste of that. So if something goes against them now, they will understand that you can actually switch into this mode and do it. 1-0 down, and they kept just passing the ball around. And I'm like, come on, you got to do something. But nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. And it was Spurs didn't do anything to win the game. They never did anything. They just defended. And when you're up against a team that defends and keeps defending that deep, what you want to do is you want to throw a spanner in there. So just stick Harry Maguire up there, which we did with 8 minutes to go.
Put numbers there, yeah.
And then get the ball in there, because you might not get a chance from that directly.
Yeah,
but if you have somebody who puts pressure on Romero or Van de Ven or whatever, in a situation where they all game long is just heading the ball away, it might just drop there.
Yeah.
And then it might just drop in front of a Man United player who can, it might just. Yeah. And this is what you have, but they didn't. And for me, that was the worst part. You can lose a final. I accept that if you've given everything, if you left everything on the pitch. But for me, they didn't leave enough out there.
On the other hand, the success of Tottenham and particularly, I would say, Ange Postecoglou as a manager who had a difficult this season. Also, a couple of words about them.
But it's a great thing, because what we're talking about now, we talk so much. We do talk a lot about managers, and we talk about managers because he's got this style of play, he's got that style, and we call it Ange football, and we call it a lot of things, right? Now, he's won absolutely nothing of importance by playing the way that he plays. He hasn't. He changed it when they were in Frankfurt. He changed it. It's the first time we saw Tottenham just defending, not having the ball. When you go through obviously it's with the stats, you know about them. But when you go through the stats, so for most of the games, so it's more than half the games of the season they've played, they had more than 60% of the ball. I think in 10 games of all season they had 70%, and a couple of games they had 80%. When you go to the game against Frankfurt, they were in the low 40s all game, and in the what was it? There's one game that had 34%. I think that was in Frankfurt.
Against Bodo?
No, it was in Frankfurt. 34% of the ball. That's not Ange. That's him trying to win a trophy. Now, for me, that's good management, right? It's good management that you try to win games. So you obviously set your team up in the best possible way, but then don't claim to have a style of football. Just be honest about it, And I think if he'd been a little bit more cynical about his style of play, I don't think they would have finished 16th in the. But he's been adamant. We play this way.
Yeah.
So he's not changed it in the Premier League, but he did change it in Europe, and he got a trophy out of it. So, and fair dues to him. But I would like him to admit that it works to change and go away from principles now and again, because it's a little bit too much for me. That it's about the manager's principles, that they are more important than the results of the team, because in that you forget why we play football and who we play football for. We do it for the fans. The fans want to see the team win, and of course every group of fans wants to see that team win in style. Every group will, but if it can't be done in style, they still want to see the team win. I don't know any group of fans who accept that the team loses every time, but they played well. Southampton got relegated.
Played good.
Because they had to play that way. So as long as Russell Martin was the manager, they had to pass it out from the back. But the players were not capable of that. So they literally lost a goal in every game from playing the ball out from the back. Why is his principles more important than the feelings of the fans? I don't get that. And this is why it would be great if Ange just came out and said, I changed it because, it was more effective, but he doesn't.
Boy, it's interesting to have you here to hear what you're saying, Mr. Schmeichel. Yeah, it's real pleasure. But that's enough for this just warming up part. Let's start with our first official section of the interview that we call Rate Yourself, all right?
Oh, Christ.
This is a part of the interview where we're going to ask you to rate yourself. We prepared 12 goalkeeping segments.
All right.
It's a typical Sofascore rating from 3 to 10. You have a slider. You're going to put your rating in these specific categories. All right? Shall we start? Okay. Can you tap on to start?
I like the picture though.
Oh, yeah.
So tap start,
yeah? Okay. So, first in order, footwork and ball distribution.
What does that mean? We didn't play the way.
Yes, that's what I want. That's why I put it first.
Distributed the ball in a different way.
That's why I put it first, because nowadays it seems like it's the first criteria to rate goalkeeper, and I was raised on your games, and when it wasn't that important. That's why I wanted to talk to you about first.
We, especially with Man United, we did play out from the back, but we weren't under pressure. So I got the ball, but also one of the things that I did a lot was throwing the ball. So it says footwork and ball distribution.
It seems strange to you a little bit, but nowadays it's criteria number one. So how would you put?
Well, just for the distribution, I think that was one of my forces. I don't know what to do here. I'll just do that.
How much did you give it?
I don't know. 8.4 or something.
Okay. Okay. So next. Reflexes and explosiveness.
That for me was another thing where I really was confident. So I'll go that end as well. 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
Position again. My God, I was a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, you were. How much?
8.5.
Okay. Shot stopping.
What does that even mean? That was my job. I just got 8.5 every time.
Yeah, all right.
One-on-one.
One-on-ones.
One-on-one was my best bit. So 9.5.
Yes. Come on. Penalties? Oh,
I see. That's a funny thing. I find
you didn't have much.
no. We never gave penalties away. I remember saving a couple. I also remember conceding quite a few of. I'll just stay with what it is. 6.5.
6.5.
Is that too much?
No, that's too low if you ask me. But yeah.
No, penalties is a lottery, isn't it? I mean, it is a lottery.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Cross the scenario balls also.
That was again. This is what I did.
How much?
9.4.
Okay.
Game anticipation.
Game anticipation.
I'll just do this again. 8.5. I was good at concentrating. I played in teams where we weren't under pressure a lot. We had the ball quite a lot.
But the defensive line was that.
Yeah.
So you
and the way we played was we always tried to be outnumbering the other team. So we would always have defenders going forward and all that. So my job was, of course, if anything was played over the top, to deal with that.
Yeah.
So yeah. But this is important. You can't do this. Agility and coordination. What does that even mean?
Oh, it comes on various parts of goalkeeping job.
I was fine.
How much?
8.5.
Okay. Something more also important. Communication with defense.
Communication. What kind of communication are you looking for?
You tell us.
What kind? I did talk non-stop for however long non-stop.
But that's important, right?
I did that for very different reasons. First was for myself, to stay in the game, because obviously, as I said before, I wasn't directly involved for most of the team, for most of the time, because obviously we had the ball. So that was one thing. The second thing was for me to be vocal in this, so defenders in front of me would know where I was all the time. For a defender to all the time having to look where the goalkeeper is, it takes up 1, 2, 3% of his attention. But if he can hear where I am, he can be in the position that he wants. And it was interesting when I first came. I came to Manchester United. It was Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister playing in front of me, and they got really cross with me being so vocal and loud. And we had a lot of arguments. There's a lot of footage of us sort of arguing with each other.
Like, shut up already.
Yeah, all of that. I can't say exactly what's been said because it's not fitting. But very quickly they realised how good it was for them. So, for instance, I would. In situations, for instance, when I said before, the worst situation is when a player comes directly at you, because you cannot. There's nothing to read.
Give me some angle.
A little bit of angle, you can then see in the body language. So if you push them just a couple of yards or meters to one side, already here they have to change their body language, their position.
Yeah, if he puts his shoulder like this, then
read a little bit into what's going to happen next. But straight on, you don't know. And the wrist, so you hit it with a straight foot, it can go anywhere. So I wanted them to always show them wide. And in the beginning, of course, it was a problem because they were never trained to do that. They were always trained to defend, in a certain way. And of course, if you're not, so Steve Bruce wasn't the quickest. He was the bravest and the cleverest and a fantastic defender, but wasn't. And so he didn't like being turned. But then he realized that my forte was actually coming out, closing down angles. And obviously you have to go through a few situations where this happens. And he would see that I could deal with that and he would be comfortable with it. In that, you have to communicate, you have to talk, you have to all the time know where everybody is. And I can see them, but they can't see me. So I talked all the time.
Yeah.
So in this, communication with defense, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Oh, that's a perfect thing.
So what should I do?
Oh, I think we're come at this point that we need one number 10, and I think this is the time, the moment you will be. All right, you gave it 10.
Confidence and mental resilience. Well, again, come on. You play for Man United. If you don't have that, up there with this goes for every player. If I had to give this for any player I play with in Man United, I'll go 10. Because if not, you will never achieve what we have.
Bye.
But this is the difference. This is actually what we see now. We actually see how difficult it is to play for Man United now. Because everything they do, everybody who knows football knows about that. Everything, every little mistake, every time it's not going, every time it's going well, everybody who knows about football or have an interest in football will know what happened to Manchester United. Maybe also to Real Madrid, possibly Liverpool, Barcelona. And there maybe
Juventus, Milan.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, really?
Not even close.
Okay.
Not even close. Maybe Bayern, but only maybe. But with Man United for sure. Now, when it's not going well, if you're criticised, it's everywhere and it goes on for days. We're still talking about the Europa League final. We're still talking about it. If Man United had won the game, no one would have spoken about Tottenham losing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the difference. This is what I think most people don't understand, how mentally strong you have to be to play for that club. Possibly Liverpool. I'll take Liverpool into that as well. But because Liverpool's been in a weird period, it's not been so bad. But with Man United, it's everywhere. You travel anywhere in the world with the privately or with the club, the attention is incredible. So confidence and mental resilience. You don't play for Man United if you're not a 10.
10, okay.
Sorry.
And the last segment, the last category is
leadership.
Leadership, something that you had in you quite a lot.
Yeah, and we were, again, in that, and most of the team I played with in Brøndby, most of the team I played with in the national team as well, we were all strong leaders. And I think that's important. I'll go up, and I'll go 8.8, which is just ridiculous. I go because leadership is difficult when you have, how do I put that? When you have the expectations upon you as an individual in the team, but also as a member of a team. And you know what the brief is, and you know, we just talked about the mental side of things. You know what the requirements are, what the job is. Obviously, you need quite a few leaders in the team. And if somebody is not that, and it's not going well, sometimes we as leaders are not the best leaders because we say things maybe in a too direct way because there isn't time to be nice and often it's not constructive, you know. So we can't go 10. I don't think.
Okay.
I played with a 10. I played with a 10 leader, Brian Robson.
Brian Robson.
Yeah. Best captain ever. Captain fantastic.
One single thing, if you can point it out, what you learned from him that you would say something like this about him. He had
that ability. So first of all, he was always in front. He always showed by example. Secondly, he had that ability to get players drawn in to him. He had it on the pitch, but he also had it in the dressing room. He was including people, you know, which is very difficult to. So and he was kind of like this the center of not attention, but he was like in the middle of everything without being that person where it's all about me.
Yeah, that's, you know, you explain it.
He was,
But I expected you would name Roy Keane.
Roy Keane was very, very good on the pitch, leader on the pitch. But Roy Keane at the time, probably not so good with people around him. a bit shy, a bit, not...
Introverted.
No, he's definitely not introvert, definitely.
Oh, no?
He's the other way, no.
Oh, okay.
But I mean... but on the pitch, he was that kind of player. He drove people in to up their performances. But he would be the same kind of thing. In the heat of the moment, he would say things. They needed to be said, but probably not in the most diplomatic way. So, but as I say, I mean, Brian Robson was the captain when I arrived at Man United. Then it came Steve Bruce, who was also a fantastic captain, but different personality. Steve Bruce, I enjoy playing with him so much.
Let's get back to ratings.
My rating?
Yeah, you got your average rate? Yeah, come on. Which is it?
8.76.
8.76. Nice, very good. Are you satisfied?
I don't know. I find it really difficult. I do.
To rate yourself?
Yeah, because I mean, obviously I haven't played for many years, so it's a long. But you have this idea of what your job was and how well you did the job, and what you've listed here are general things in goalkeeping. Now, if I wasn't good at everything, a single one of them, I would never have played for Man United. You know, I wouldn't.
We probably would be even talking now.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
So, can you look on the leaderboard how well you did comparing to our other guests?
Oh my God!
So are you number one? Yes, you are.
I've put myself number one.
So, Podolski, yeah, great.
Podolski,
Lucas Podolski, Guardiol.
Yeah.
Costa Curta is far from you.
Costa Curta, man, he was what a player, man. But it's difficult, and you're trying not to be an idiot, you know.
That's why I came up with that.
Yeah, but there's only 5 players on here. I think in 25 it will look different. But you can't do that. You can't. Honestly, you can't put a score on yourself. It's impossible.
But it's a show of character. That's why I come up with this, because now we can have fun with this, and it's not easy. Everybody has difficulties. You're like, should I? Am I overrating myself, or am I underrating myself? So yeah, it's very good. It was I'm glad that you're number one. I'm really glad. So that's it for this part. Let's move on to the next.
Alex Ferguson. And no insult to my own father, but he was like a father to me. This man. I mean, he was so perfect.